Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about the best episodes from Money Heist. Now, of course, this video will be full of spoilers, so you have a spoiler alert. And now let's start with Season 4, Episode 7. In this episode, the group reels following the attack of one of their own. The professor puts his adjusted plan in motion with the help of new recruits and Palermo. This episode really puts us in a tense position, as in the previous episode, a very beloved character by the name of Nairobi actually died. And in this episode, we believe that Tokyo maybe died with her. But after a while, we find out that that's not the truth. And in this episode, we finally see Gandia, which is the superhuman cop, getting captured. Also in this episode, there is a big transfer of power when the professor manages to beat the colonel against the media, making this episode with a huge win and also a huge loss by losing Nairobi. Next one we have is Season 2, Episode 9. Now this episode might not be a favorite to a lot of people, especially because it ends on a romantic note, but the most important part of this episode is the sacrifice of Berlin. We finally see Berlin as a different person. As the police is getting into the bank and the gang is trying to get out, Berlin sacrifices himself by fighting the cops. To a lot of people, Berlin gave this unique dynamic, and he also gave a lot of depth to his character. So it was a huge surprise when he sacrificed himself to save the others. And in the end, there was this big question, is it gonna pay out? And as we saw by the end of the episode, it does pay out by the gang managing to escape and Professor and Raquel meeting on the end of the episode, even though that end was too lovey-dovey for us. Next episode we have is the Season 3, Episode 8, called Astray. This episode is full of drama and is full of twists and turns. Because of this, it might be the best episode of Money Heist to our opinion. This episode is great because it shows a lot of drama without leaving any cliffhangers. There are 4 main parts of this episode. First one being that Nairobi is being baited into talking to her son. Because of this, she approaches the window and a sniper gets her. This was a huge shock to everyone, as no one expected her to get shot like that. Other than that, we have Tokyo losing her mental state of mind, in which she gets drunk all the time and in the end shoots a police car with an RPG, even though the professor said that they shouldn't do that since it would make them a terrorist organization. Another drama we have in this episode is with Professor and Raquel. Raquel is trying to run away and she gets caught in the end. Professor, stuck on a tree, can only listen to what's happening. In that moment, he can hear Raquel pleading for her life. He is trying to run and get her, but it is all to avail. He can hear shots, and in that moment, he realizes that the love of his life might be dead. This episode is so great that in itself, it could be a movie. It is full of twists and turns, and it's full of drama. It is that typical cat versus mouse play that goes very good with this show. Now, before we continue to the next episode, let us know which episode is your favorite, and also who is your favorite character. Now, the next episode we have is Season 2, Episode 6. In this episode, we see Moscow telling the real story about his mother to Denver. Even though he believed his mom abandoned him, it turned out that his mom was a drug addict, and that after dealing for so many years, Moscow was sick of it, and because of that, he left her on a road. Denver is not able to forgive him, something that he definitely regrets at the end of the episode when Moscow gets shot. This is one of the first deaths of the important characters in the series, so it is a very big one. Now, another thing that actually happens in this episode is that the professor finally admits to Raquel that he is the one behind the whole bank robbery. He is the guy she was communicating with the whole time. While another drama that's happening is with Tokyo. She was arrested and now she is being transported to another location. But the professor had something else in his mind. Because of that, he hires the Serbian gang to actually free Tokyo, which they managed to do. He goes on a motorbike dressed as a police officer. She goes in front of the bank robbery and then, in an amazing fashion, actually drives a motorcycle to the entrance of the bank. Rio opens the door, but unfortunately that is also when Moscow gets shot. As we said, similarly to the previous episode we talked about, this episode has a lot of different storylines which culminate in one episode, making it one of the best episodes of Money Heist. And the last episode we have is Plan Paris. In this episode, the professor, Benjamin, and other attempt to free Lisbon. They will manage to do it in an amazing way, by creating a fake door in a parking lot. Rescue crew that build a little wall is hidden inside of that wall. Once Raquel and the guards pass them, they will engage the guards and then replace the real Raquel with a fake one. Other than that, this episode has some other great moments, like this one in which Helsinki is really trying not to kill the superhuman cop. And I think you know who I'm talking about. This really creates the tension in the gang, as everyone kinda hates this guy, but they can't do anything against him, because if they do, it will ruin their plans completely. And for the first time in this episode, we can see the professor absolutely outdueling the Colonel Tamayo. Also, this episode is pretty great because it ends with a cliffhanger, in which we can see policewoman Alicia finally catching the professor. So that's gonna be it for this video. We hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.